This is TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, and the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Over 2 million men worldwide choose Manscaped for all their below-the-waist needs. For those that love the Lawnmower 3.0, well, I got news for you. The Manscaped engineering team has confirmed that they have successfully created the Lawnmower 4.0. The Lawnmower 4.0 gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. The new trimmer even allows you to customize your trim all through additional guards lengths, sizes 1 through 4. And looks-wise, it's sleek with a two-tone matte and gloss finish, even features a hot foil stamp, black chrome Manscaped logo. Show your more off loud and proud. Go to manscaped.com, use the promo code STATEOFSAINTS, and you will save 20% off of the Lawnmower 4.0 as well as other Manscaped items. That's manscaped.com. Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hope everybody enjoyed their Memorial Day. Hope everybody is, up and at 'em, ready, back to the work week. And I want to say thank you very much for tuning in. This is the podcast where we talk New Orleans Saints. And on this edition, we're going to be talking about head coach Sean Payton. And does Sean Payton have something to prove? This actually comes from, a pretty obvious topic. Drew Brees retiring. He's in a booth now on NBC. He's going to be doing Football Night in America, and he's also going to be calling Notre Dame games as a color commentator. But now that leaves an empty void, when it comes to the quarterback position. And of course, when you're thinking about changes, especially at the quarterback position, you have to look to leadership, and that leadership comes from Sean Payton. And Sean Payton, this is his first time without Drew Brees in his entire head coaching career. So the question is, does he have something to prove? And does he walk around with a chip on his shoulder now? Because, we heard this before, right? Who makes the team better? Is it the head coach or is it the quarterback? We seen the same thing happen last season with Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots and Tom Brady now playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And, their success was conjoined together until Tom Brady left. And, a lot of analysts were asking the questions who made the New England Patriots. And if you're a football fan right now, you have to say that Tom Brady is winning that argument. The fact that he leaves and goes to Tampa, a franchise that wasn't so good, and he brings them a Super Bowl championship, regardless to how you want to look at it. He still was the quarterback. And now you have Bill Belichick trying to do everything he can to try to make his team formidable out there in the AFC East. And, when I look at Sean Payton, I see a guy that's a fierce competitor. I look at a guy who is really, really serious about the coaching, the coaching job. And he's a guy that's really meticulous. He's a guy that pays attention to every little small detail. That's one of the things that we love about Sean Payton. Is also one of the things we don't like about Sean Payton. But nevertheless, we all can agree that Sean Payton is a really good head coach, and he's a guy who can get the best out of everybody that he comes in contact with. We've seen over the last few years, Drew Brees has been down, been injured, and no matter who the quarterback is, he's always ready and prepared. Sean Payton always comes up with with a scheme to make sure that it fits that quarterback in order for the team to be competitive each and every week. And if you're asking me, I definitely believe that Sean Payton has a chip on his shoulder, and I think he's embracing it. Yeah, of course, Sean Payton is not going to come out and say, yeah, what I'm saying, I got something to prove. Yeah, I'm about to show everybody that I can win without Drew. Of course, he's not going to say that. But the competitor that he is, you can tell, like, probably behind closed doors, probably the people that he's really close to, you better believe that he's ready to embrace life after Drew Brees. And when you hear about guys like Jameis Winston, who has interception issues, trust and believe that Sean Payton wants to be the guy that changes what people think about Jameis Winston. When you look at a guy like Taysom Hill, people are saying, oh, he's more of a tight end, more of a running back than he is a quarterback. Trust and believe that Sean Payton wants to change that narrative. Also, what you think about Taysom Hill. So I do feel like he has a huge chip on his shoulder. Now, does he have something to prove? The answer to me is no. I don't feel like Sean Payton has anything to prove. I think we all can agree that he is a really good head coach. I think we all can agree as Saints fans, he's definitely the best head coach the New Orleans Saints have ever had. There's been a bunch of head coaches throughout the entire, franchise history. Sean Payton is number one, numero uno. I mean, that's just what it is. He is the guy. He is the guy who generated the most success as the Saints head coach. So I don't feel like he has nothing to prove in that regards. But, as long as you're the head coach, you got to go out there and you got to perform. But he's definitely going to be embracing this challenge. You can tell by the way that he's talking in interviews, and you definitely can tell like the way that he actually changed the way that he coaches. If you look at Sean Payton when he first got here in 2006, he's not even the same coach. Even some of those former players that used to play for him, they talk about how different he is, and I think that's what Sean Payton understood. That's one thing about Sean Payton that I can appreciate is the adaptation of Sean Payton. He understands that this is a younger locker room. This is a social media driven type generation. And, you got to be able to relate to some of these young guys. That's why he allows these guys to be themselves. That's the reason why after celebration, they bringing out, the smoke, and they bringing out the speakers and the stuff like that in order to relate to some of these younger talents. So Sean Payton definitely has done a really good job trying to understand the younger generation from, turning the locker room into a concert to actually wearing J's on the sideline. I mean, you got to be able to adapt. So does he have something to prove as a head coach of the Saints? No. But do I feel like he has a chip on his shoulder? Absolutely, because he knows that a lot of people feel like his success is conjoined to Drew Brees. So he wants to generate success outside of number 9. But thank you all so much for tuning in. I would love to hear from you. I see that is chosen. It was your birthday on yesterday, man. Happy birthday to you, man. And hope you have many more, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here as well. Let's go ahead and get started. We'll start with Brian. Brian says the intro reminds me of some Lil Wayne and Baby, like father, like son. Yeah, man. I mean, I love the intro, man. I just love the beat. I think it gets us all prepared and hyped to get the show started, man. So definitely love the intro. Herman says, showing my Who Dat family some love from Italy. What's going on, Herman? Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Gabriel says, let's go Saints. Let's go TJ. Gabriel, thank you so much for being here. Jared says, hope y'all had a blessed Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, I had a really good Memorial Day weekend. I barbecued on Sunday. Didn't really do too much of anything yesterday. I just spent most of the day cleaning up. Paxton was at home. His daycare was closed yesterday, so he was here with me. And, we just basically cleaned up the whole house while my wife she had to work yesterday. So that's what I did. Raquel says, I can't wait to see what we look like without Drew. I think everybody is a little bit skeptical and afraid, that, life outside of Drew Brees. But the one thing that I often allude to here on the State of the Saints podcast is the fact that we actually seen life outside of Drew Brees for the last 2 seasons. I think that a lot of people would be extremely fearful if they didn't see Teddy Bridgewater play 5 games and win 5. If they didn't see Taysom play 4 games and win 3. I think that a lot of people would be more nervous than they actually are, going into this 2021 season. Look, there's going to be a drop off in quarterback play, and I think that's something that we have to be prepared for. And people want that elite quarterback play, as soon as the season starts. But I mean, these guys aren't Drew Brees. Yeah, they're not. And people want to debate me and go back and forth about this, but it's reality, man. Like for you to pretend like there's not going to be a drop off, it's like you saying that Drew Brees is, doesn't matter. And Drew Brees did matter, and Drew Brees does matter. So when I say that, there's going to be a drop off, that don't mean that these quarterbacks going to fall off a cliff, but there's some decision making that's going to be involved that probably be different from what we've seen in years past. Drew Brees is a quarterback, he'll live to fight another day, right? You might have another quarterback that try to force the issue. I mean, it's different. So I am interested to see what life is going to be like outside of Drew Brees. But at the same time, I'm prepared to understand that there are going to be some growing pains no matter who the quarterback is. Chosen says, I feel Sean Payton proved he can win without Brees when we went 8-1 without him. I believe Sean will be okay. He's a great coach. Yeah, I mean, look, people don't want to give Sean Payton any type of credit. And, those are for those Drew Brees sympathizers out there. Those are for those Drew Brees worshipers out there. They feel like the team is not going to be anything at all. And congratulations, to all those folks out there, finally y'all can jump off the bandwagon. We can start focusing on some of those real Saints fans out here, the ones that's going to root for the Saints, win, lose, or draw. Not these Drew Brees worshipers, that only came on board and don't really understand about Saints football or have an appreciation for what you have seen for the last 4 years. Because newsflash to all of those Drew Brees worshipers and sympathizers out there, this team has been extremely good outside of Drew Brees. Okay, I'm being serious, and you can make an argument for the last 2 years. It's almost like Drew Brees was like, okay, some of y'all probably can relate to this. Have you ever seen like a guy who was extremely popular in high school and he ends up graduating from high school, but he still comes around, right? He still comes around. People, like, oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? They humor him and stuff like that. But to a point, it's like, why is he still coming around? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the new popular people are there. The new kings of the high school are there. You know what I'm saying? But this guy's still hanging around, still holding on to, that popularity that he had when he was in high school. Now, this is no disrespect to Drew Brees. The only thing that I'm saying is there was a new guard. Like, honestly, when you look at Demario Davis in a huddle, it was like Demario Davis was the one getting people fired up. And it's like followed by Drew Brees coming in the circle. But it's like, was it even really necessary at that particular time? Like these guys already hyped up because it's Demario, but I'm going to allow you to come back in here. It's kind of like the same thing. And I feel like people don't have that appreciation, right, for what this team has become. The leadership that has evolved in the form of Teron Armstead and Cam Jordan and Demario Davis, and now most recently, once again, Malcolm Jenkins. It's no disrespect to Drew, but I just felt like he was the guy who everybody liked and stuff like that, and they appreciate him. But at the same time, it was the guy that was kind of still holding on to that popularity and not realizing that, hey, there's some new youngsters in town, man. You know what I'm saying? They're running it right now. And to me, it didn't look right. It didn't feel right. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like Demario was, emerging as the leader, and Drew is, leader by default. So they let him come on up in here and do his thing. That's what it looked like to me. I mean, I could be wrong. Some people might think that that's sacrilegious, but that's the way that it looked. Go back and look at the huddle. All right. It's almost like this, right? If I get you fired up, right? And I'm like, look here. Okay. For 5 years, we've been out here grinding. I'm just looking at the NFC Championship game, right? We're in the NFC Championship game. Y'all ready? Everybody been writing us off. Everybody been telling us we shouldn't be in this spot. Everybody's saying, hey, They ain't going to win this game. They saying, hey, they're going to find a reason to screw up. But I don't believe that. Do you believe that? I don't believe it. Because anybody that believes that we're about to screw up, I don't need to roll with you because I'm about to hit the field and give everybody everything that I have. And I need me some dogs. Where my dogs at? Everybody, woo, 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 woo. And he be like, man, we about to go out here and we about to dominate. We about to dominate from the start to the finish, to the end of the whistle. We gonna dominate. Let's go. Then all of a sudden somebody say, 15 minutes. We've been here. Like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like I already got y'all fired up. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready. They ready to run through a wall. I'm ready to run through a wall. Let's get it. Then all of a sudden somebody like, yeah, and we're going to convert on third down. Huh? What? Like, come on, man. What are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the way that it felt to me. That's the way that it felt. So yeah, man. It just didn't feel right. We about walking back the big plays. Yeah. Need some big plays. But I think that, man, I think there's going to be a lot of explosive plays. And there's also going to open up endless possibility for Sean Payton because, you know, Sean Payton is always trying to find plays to, you know, benefit them. I feel that he does. Everybody wants to link him and Drew together forever, but coaching has been supreme without Drew. I agree. Who that TJ, the host, what's going on? I'm June 19. I assume y'all talking about birthdays here. Greg says, I'm not worried about, I know what Sean can do. I'm not concerned either. I'm not concerned what Sean can do. I think that Sean is going to do an outstanding job. He has been doing an outstanding job. Sean Payton should have been in a conversation for Coach of the Year for the last 2 years, but the reason why is because of his own success. Sometimes you can be a victim of your own success and people don't appreciate how good you are because they feel like, you know what I'm saying? They're just Sean being Sean. Or it's just Andy being Andy or just Bill being Bill. You know what I'm saying? Like, or Mike just being Mike. I'm talking about Mike Tomlin. It's like when you become a prisoner of your own success, you know what I'm saying? When you be like a victim of your own success, rather, people don't appreciate how good you can actually be. I love the hype, but I think worst case scenario is 7-10, but games will be very interesting. I don't feel like it'll be 7-10. You know, I just feel like if I like no disrespect, John, but I feel like anybody saying that 7-10 is like saying like Drew Brees is the whole team. Like this is a really good football team here, man. Like this is a really good football team. I don't think people have an appreciation for how good this football team is. And like I said, I'm not naive to the fact of what Drew is and who he was. But Drew wasn't this whole team over the last couple of years, though, guys. I can make an argument to you that the reason why the Saints weren't blowing teams out was because of the limitations of Drew Brees' arm strength. I can make an argument for that. I can really make an argument to say that the Saints couldn't really put their foot on the neck of their opponents is because of Drew Brees' limitation of getting the ball down the field. I can make that argument. You know what I'm saying? Like there were opportunities where the defense might get turnovers, but the fact that the Saints couldn't set, you know, because this is the thing. These are all my football people out there. You get a turnover, 9 times out of 10, the coach wants to strike fast. They want to hit you with a play action. They want to hit you with a down the field pass. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep that momentum going. But the limitation of Drew Brees' arm strength, like think about this. You get an interception, right? They return it, I don't know, 5 yards, put it a little bit past midfield. Then all of a sudden, nickel dime, nickel dime, nickel dime. Everybody playing the sticks. You get you know what I'm saying? There's a chance you might get 1 first down or a 3 and out, right? You get a 3 and out, maybe, you know what I'm saying? You get yourself a couple yards, you kick a field goal. Like, just think about that. I can really seriously sit up here and make an argument to say that maybe the Saints were in these games. You know what I'm saying? These games were so nip and tuck because they really could not put the proverbial nail into the coffin of their opponents because of the limitations of the explosive play. I mean, honestly, I just feel like anybody that is sitting here or just thinking about this team just being an absolute train wreck and failure, it's like you saying Drew Brees is everything. This is not to like we have to be careful, man, not to program ourselves to believe these things. Like I just feel like people aren't having an appreciation of how good this team actually is. This is a really good football team, folks. This is a really good football team. And anybody that's just still sitting up here talking about Drew, I just wonder, like, has this been programmed into your mind? And maybe it's because, like, the Saints never really had that much success when it comes to quarterback play over the years. So anything that resembles success, we hold on to. And if that is removed, then all of a sudden, like, we just feel like we're hopeless. I don't feel like the team is hopeless. I don't know if I'm naive. Maybe I'm tripping, but I don't feel like it's hopeless. I just feel like there are opportunities out there that this team may have that over the last couple of years, Drew couldn't capitalize on, as great as he has been. After 4 years of failing to make the Super Bowl, yes, Sean Payton has something to prove. He has to prove he still has the leadership skills, has the ear of the entire locker room, and can get the team back to the Super Bowl. If this team with the talent that remains on this roster can't win Super Bowl soon, it may get challenging to keep this team focused and keep players' confidence in Sean's coaching ability. Jeffrey, that's a very strong point right there. I do agree with you. Every year, a coach, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to, coaching, they have to prove that they can get their team focused, motivated. But here's the thing. Sean Payton, it wasn't Sean Payton's fault that Marcus Williams couldn't make a tackle, right? It wasn't Sean Payton's fault that they didn't call pass interference on that play. Now, fair or not, I mean, that's just the reality of the thing, right? I mean, Marcus Williams missed the tackle. As much as I like Marcus Williams, he missed the tackle. Sean Payton had absolutely nothing to do with that. Last time I checked, Sean Payton, called a fade to the back of the end zone to Alvin Kamara for a go-ahead lead. That's what I seen, right? I also seen Sean Payton calling one hell of a game in the second half, you know what I'm saying, with Michael Thomas with 2 second-half touchdowns on arguably one of the best cornerbacks at that time, and Xavier Rhodes. So this is a guy that, you know what I'm saying, that was coaching a hell of a game, right? You know what I'm saying? Marcus Williams missed a tackle. This is a guy who, you know what I'm saying, called a running play, right? This is a guy that called a running play on that play where Drew Brees audible to a quick slant to Michael Thomas and it hit the ground. He also called the wheel route to Tommy Lee Lewis that should have been a pass interference to seal the deal. Sean Payton has also called really good games when Drew Brees was out, and Teddy Bridgewater, who, Carolina gave up on, now playing for the Denver Broncos, had that guy winning 5 games and got this guy $60 million. He also took a guy who a lot of people considered as a tight end and a running back and made him into a quarterback for 4 games, and he won 3 of those 4 games and could have possibly even won that 4th game, as terrible as he played. So to me, he's a hell of a coach. And if and I understand this is an outcome-driven league, right? It's about the outcome. The outcome is the Saints lost. So therefore, Sean Payton, who is the coach of the New Orleans Saints, you know what I'm saying, failed to get his team motivated. This team loves this guy. You know why I know this, Jeffrey? Because in 2017, when those guys suffered the most disappointing loss in playoff history, those guys bounced right back and arguably had the best team they ever assembled as a Saints franchise. Some people will say the 2009 team because they won the Super Bowl because of the outcome. But to me, that was a damn good team. That was a Super Bowl caliber, Super Bowl winning team that they had back in 2018. Oh, you know what I'm saying? They suffered a disappointing outcome once again to in the playoffs, a 9-call pass interference. And how did they come back? They won the same amount of games. So you know what that tells me? That tells me that those players respect the hell out of their coach. That means they'll run through a wall for him, and they respect him to a point where they feel like he's going to put them in the best position to succeed. And another thing, what separates him from a lot of these other coaches is respect. And I'm going to tell you why. At the end of the day, a lot of those guys on the Saints team did not roll or did not like the decision for Taysom Hill to start over Jameis last season. You had kind of a divided locker room right there. That could have easily went south. That could have easily been like, man, what is he doing, man? You got a first overall pick in Jameis, and you're going to go with Taysom? And you know why he did that? It's because he promised Taysom Hill. Think about this, man. Think about how many people fabricate or stretch the truth or tell people something that ain't true. He promised Taysom Hill that if he was to re-sign with the New Orleans Saints and an opportunity presents itself, he will give him an opportunity to start. So Sean Payton, willing to sacrifice almost the camaraderie of the team to keep a promise that he made to a guy that a lot of people may not consider as a good or decent quarterback. He gave this guy an opportunity to go out there and play. So you know what comes with that? Guys might be upset, but at the end of the day, they respect the hell out of it. So I don't know, man. Sean Payton, to me, to me, the way that he coaches, the respect that he gives his players, the leeway that he gives these players, the fact that he sits up here when you have really dominant, you know what I'm saying, like personalities inside of the locker room, he still earned their respect. So as long as you continuously have the respect of your locker room, I mean, you should be fine because they're going to be willing to run through a wall for you. I mean, that's just the way that it is. Pammy said, that's right. I'm black and gold till I'm dead and cold. That's what I'm talking about. Tidra giving a thumbs up. The weak link in the chain. Same here, Pammy. I respect Drew Brees, but you know franchise is poverty when your starting quarterback gets so much credit and stats are shown specifically about them. Sean Payton is the reason I still have hope. Yeah, man, me too, man. As long as Sean Payton is there, I think Sean Payton going to put this team in a position to succeed. Clay says, so if we hypothetically were to win the Super Bowl, then that means Sean Payton made the Saints great. You have to say that he made them great already. Look, bro, I don't know how long y'all been rolling with the Saints, but the Saints were not very good, okay? The pride that you feel right now in your heart and in your soul about this team was not always here. Like, man, we need to cut the nonsense out. All right. Look, as much as we try to rag on other franchises and stuff like this, if you've been a Saints fan as long as I have, you've been a Saints fan in the 90s, the 80s, some of y'all in the 70s, even at the beginning in the inception of the team, when they were an expansion team, you know that there were not a lot of happy moments as a Saints fan. Some of you who are probably in your 20s, 25, 26 years old, that means you're about 10, 9, or 8, even 8 years old around this time. So all you remember is prosperity. Only thing that y'all remember is Drew Brees. Only thing y'all remember is throwing for a whole bunch of yards. Okay? The Saints only have one Super Bowl in their franchise's history. The Saints have what? 3 NFC championship appearances? How many? 2, 3? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, see, 2006. Yeah, 3 NFC championship appearances. All 3 of them come from Sean Payton. Sean Payton is already a made man as a Saints coach. Okay? The reason why you feel like you have the audacity to mitigate it, God, to be able to talk about Sean Payton is because he gave you that feeling. Think about that, folks. Sean Payton gave you that feeling. The feeling that you expect the Saints to win double-digit games each season, he gave you that hope. The fact that you can go out there with no matter who the quarterback is and us having these conversations right now, Sean Payton gave you that hope. This dude is already a made man. Okay, you can talk about Sean Payton all you want to. You can talk about the play calling. You can talk about the way he coached. You can talk about him being arrogant. You can talk about him having an ego. But the feelings that you have right now are instilled inside of you because Sean Payton gave you those feelings to be able to exercise your feelings. Because at the same time, trust me, if this was the 90s, nobody would be saying a damn thing. If they was winning double digit, nothing at all. But the fact that the Saints have won more games than any other team in the last 4 years, we can beat on our chest and we can say, man, what's wrong with this? What's wrong with that? What's happening with this? Why we can't win this? He gave you that feeling. So for that, he's already a made man. Like him or not, he's already a made man. He's already a made man as a coach. Legendary coach. The greatest head coach in Saints history. And that's something you cannot deny. But like I said, some of you are probably in your 20s. Y'all don't remember that. And if you do remember, it's probably because somebody told you about it. Right? Now, that does not. Now, I want people to understand this. This doesn't give the Saints any excuse. Because some people would be like, well, we won these many games back in the day, but look how much we winning now. Nah, bump that, man. This is result driven. So I can understand that. I can understand people getting upset. But at the same time, you have to understand this. That feeling that you have is because of Sean Payton. Okay? Now, I'm not an advocate for, okay, we had more success than we ever did because of him, and if he fall by the wayside. But the dude been winning, okay? They've been winning. So it's hard for me to get up here and say, oh, we need to get rid of him when you're winning 13 games. Like, what the hell is this? Like, huh? Like, I can understand they 5 games, 4 games, but they winning 12 and 13 games a season. We spoiled, man. We spoiled. Your show tells the truth, my brother. Anthony, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you stopping by. June 1st, extensions will start coming down the pike. Money will be freed up. Well, I hope so. But Payton explained which people understood then. I don't understand what that meant. Who that for life? When Jameis goes 14-3, he deserves to win comeback player of the year. Absolutely. He definitely does. A lot of top free agents are going. I guess so, but I mean, that's what coaching comes in. You can tell all over AK-41 face he didn't want Hill to start at all. I just think that he just knew that it wasn't a good dynamic, but I don't know, man. I mean, maybe the man was just upset they lost. Unless the Saints make some trades for players. I don't agree with this. All right, because here's the thing. Back in 2017, somebody please tell me about the top free agents that came in and changed the landscape of the Saints. Somebody please tell me. Somebody please tell me this, because the last time I checked, the Saints had Ryan Ramczyk, who was a rookie, Marcus Williams, who was a rookie, Alvin Kamara, who was a rookie, Marshawn Lattimore, who was a rookie. Did I say Marcus Williams? If I didn't, Marcus Williams was a rookie. Trey Hendrickson was a rookie. Guess what, folks? That tells you right there that the front office of the New Orleans Saints put the Saints in that position to succeed. Michael Thomas was drafted by the New Orleans Saints. Brandon Cooks, who, was drafted by the New Orleans Saints, even though he was gone at the time. I'm talking about Mark Ingram, who was drafted by the Saints. Cam Jordan, who was drafted by the Saints. Sheldon Rankins, who had his best season as a New Orleans Saint. He was drafted by the New Orleans Saints. All these people that's up here going crazy and wild about free agents, what are you talking about? Why are we pretending like over the last couple of years, the nucleus, the core of this team has not been draft picks? We fall in love with these free agent guys. Oh, man, look, think about this, okay? Oh, we were so happy when Adrian Peterson came along. Somebody please tell me how many times Adrian Peterson even touched the ball when he first came to the Saints in 2017. Let's go back and think back a little further. Champ Bailey first came. Oh, Champ Bailey, man. Champ Bailey, Hall of Famer. Somebody please tell me how many games did Champ Bailey play? But we forget about this, okay? And we talk about Jackrabbit, man. We losing Jackrabbit. But here's the thing, folks. Now, people laugh at this guy now and they roll their eyes, but 2017, Ken Crawley was pretty doggone good. He was an undrafted free agent, but they put him on the opposite side of Marshawn Lattimore, and that was a pretty formidable duo right there. So for all of us to be like, falling all over the place because we lose Emmanuel Sanders, who is very good in his own right, Janoris Jenkins, who is very good in his own right, but at the same time, damn, they got some pretty good coaches on this squad. They got some pretty damn good coaches on this squad to develop guys like a Sheldon Rankins, who had a really good season back in 2018 before he tore his Achilles. Somebody like Trey Hendrickson, who is now making top dollar in Cincinnati. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? Why is it that one or two guys that we lose, all of a sudden this team is just going to fall by the wayside? I mean, Shy Tuttle was stepping up. David Yamato, who developed as a really good interior lineman, as of right now, making less money than he deserves. And then at the same time, you got Malcolm Roach, who played pretty doggone good in those last couple games when he played against Tampa. And you also have Carl Granderson, who every time he touches the field always seems to make an impact. So what are we talking about here? We don't know what Pete Werner is going to do. All he did was just be a tackling machine at Ohio State. We don't know what Paulson Adebo is going to do. All he did was miss a couple games in the Pac-12, and that was the reason why we were able to get him in the third round. If he would have came out last year, he would have been a first-round draft pick. So what the hell are we doing here? Why are we losing our minds over stuff like this? That's all I'm saying. You lose a couple guys, you get other guys back. Last time I checked, Deontay Harris was a pretty good wide receiver. Y'all seen him in that Tampa Bay game. Y'all seen him against the Chicago Bears. Y'all seen him, you know what I'm saying, go out here and run, you know what I'm saying, as a special teamer, right? Y'all seen what Marquez Callaway can do, you know what I'm saying? And this guy was a rookie, smart enough to find the soft spots in those in the zones in order to catch a pass. What do you think he's going to do in year two? You got all of this talent all around you, and y'all up here falling over all over the place for 12, 13-year guys. And no disrespect to Quan Alexander, who's really good, but a guy who has a history of being hurt. So what does that tell you right there? Oh, he'll come back, and yeah, he'll give you a few games only for him to possibly get hurt again. I'm knocking on wood because I don't want it to happen. But why are we falling all over the place when we lose a couple pieces? Do we not have confidence in the coaching staff? Do we not have confidence in the players that this team has gotten? There's a reason why these guys are being celebrated as some of the best draft classes that the Saints have ever had. There's a reason why these guys hit the field and they make an immediate impact. It's because of the coaches that have developed these guys and the know-how and the knowledge and a want to be great. So why are we falling all over the place for Janoris Jenkins? To me, if I don't know if you maybe you want to take a look, but Paulson Adebo is going to be a really good cornerback. You're doing yourself a disservice if you're not checking this kid out. Pete Werner, you're doing yourself a disservice if you just think that this guy's just going to be a glorified special teams player. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'll be highly surprised. If this dude stay healthy, I'll be highly surprised if in a couple of years he don't have a C across his chest as a leader of this defense. You're doing yourself a disservice, folks. You need to stop listening to what these mainstream media people are telling you, who are only getting that information fed in their ear, and do yourself a favor and do some research on your own. You ain't even got to take my word for it. You ain't got to take my word for it. Go out here and find that information yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice if you're just sitting there saying, woe is me, because this is going to be a good football team. Mocha, thank you very much for the $5. Says TJ, that was a comment for the guy talking about extension players for my money, for more money, bro. Okay, Mocha, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the $5. I understand, but it's Mocha. It's not a day that don't go by that I don't see an inbox or email from people like nervous, shaking in their boots about this squad. Like I'm. Like I said, just call me naive, but I just don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't know who or what they're listening to, but it just not. I don't want to say it's not smart, but I mean, you're just doing yourself a disservice. That's all I'm gonna say. We will be all right. The team with great coaches don't suddenly have a huge drop off because one guy leaves. I agree, Bobby. Teacher says right. Justice says who that? Anthony says Sean turned our franchise around. I agree with that. 100% from me. Jameis Winston will be all right. Not just Jameis, Jerry. I think the whole entire squad will be all right. Our depth still left us in a great place. All rookies, best draft class ever. I agree with that. Terry Fontenot is gone. Look, Who cares? Like I hate to say it like that, but you know, no disrespect to Terry Fontenot. You know, I hope he has a lot of success. But at the end of the day, I mean, he was developed and trained by the guys that's in there. You know, and if you ever, read that book, what the 21 Laws of Power, the student will never be greater than a master. I really feel that way because I feel like the student will never know as much as the master. And no, I'm not. I know that sounds crazy, you know what I'm saying, but I look at it the same way. The student will never know more than the teacher. These guys developed him, and he went on to greener pastures, and I wish him the best. But at the same time, this is a good staff right here. This is a good staff. And I know I think Cartier, I think he a Bucks fan, so anybody that just think this team gonna fall off, you sadly mistaken. 6 and got mad. Let me see. Yep, top rated by points at 1 point. Let's see. For all the fans who want Coach Payton fired, Jerry Jones will scoop him up in a minute and probably win a Super Bowl with the Cowboys. Be careful what you ask for. I'm riding with Payton. I don't think he'll ever go to the Cowboys because the way that Sean Payton is structured, I can't see him and Jerry Jones getting along. I just don't. I can't see that. Maybe you can, but I can't. I can't see these guys getting along. Thank y'all so much for being a part of the State of the Saints podcast. Right now, the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Father's Day is just around the corner, and you probably need a gift for your hairy dad. Make your dad proud this year and give him and yourself a gift from Manscaped. The Lawnmower 4.0, you heard that right. The Lawnmower 4.0 is available right now, and all you have to do is use the promo code State of Saints. That's all one word, State of Saints in lowercase letter. You'll save 20% off on the Lawnmower 4.0 as well as other Manscaped items. So head over to manscaped.com for Father's Day and also for yourself. Use the promo code State of Saints and you'll save 20% off. Now let's get back to the comments. I was asking what you trying to do with that money. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're probably about to get somebody. I'm pretty sure they're about to get somebody at the cornerback position. Feel like I'm in church. I keep hollering amen. Sean Payton had us with winning seasons when we lost players due to free agency and injuries. Dude is a great coach. Honestly, Slim South, I can't believe that you even have to make a comment about that. That's pretty obvious. It's amazing to me how many people just, I get it, right? Drew Brees is a great quarterback. He is an all-time great. Open and shut case, Watson. But at the same time, Sean Payton is a really good coach. And it's like people don't even want to give this man no type of credit for being a good coach. It's like they just are completely oblivious to what happened over the last couple of years and not watching these other quarterbacks. Like, what are you doing? This is a really good coach, man. Really good coach, really good coaching staff. Quan Alexander is Anthony Davis' hurt twin. God bless both to heal, but it's okay if AD healing takes a few more weeks. Oh, man. You terrible. Yeah, man. But look, I like Quan Alexander a lot. I like him a lot, but he does have a history of being hurt. We are a good football team. I agree. Reggie says Saints had depth. The cupboards are not bare. Man, they got a lot of young talent on this team, man. A lot of young talent. The media be like, Tom Brady. Did you see that check down by Brady? Oh, man. They love him, man. But look, he deserves it. Like, he deserves it, man. 7 Super Bowl championships. Like, you can't argue with that. I can understand that. And also, man, y'all don't understand, man. It's about ratings at the end of the day, right? What are the topics that people want to hear about? He's one of them. That's what they're going to talk about. Jameis Winston has proved me wrong. First, losing Brees is tough. Lost Saints haven't made playoffs without Brees since 2000. Man, that is absolutely not fair, though. Because Drew Brees only missed like a handful of games since he's been there, And, they just had some down seasons, man. Jim Haslett was the coach. at the time, and then they got Sean Payton, and that's when you start to see the team getting some level of legitimacy. So, we got to see what they can do with Sean. I trust them. This might be one of the best teams that the Saints ever had. Yeah, I agree. Look, sometimes, man, sometimes it takes a little bit of a change in order for you to get over that hump. I'm not comparing, and I think I said this on the last show. I'm not comparing Drew Brees to this quarterback, but I look at Alex Smith. Alex Smith was not a bad quarterback, man. Forget what anybody's saying. Alex Smith was not a bad quarterback. You have 7 offensive coordinators in 7 years. Of course, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have some ups and downs. All right. This guy never had the same offensive coordinator when he was with the 49ers. He ends up going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs were winning double-digit games. That's fine. But it came a time where, Alex Smith in playoff time had to play a little bit more lights out than he did, and he couldn't. It doesn't make him a bad quarterback, just means that he took this team as far as he can get them. Thus, Andy Reid drafted Patrick Mahomes, and the rest is history. Patrick Mahomes, back-to-back Super Bowls, even though they lost last year, still back-to-back Super Bowls. 3-time AFC championship appearances, 3 straight. Like, sometimes you need that extra person to get you over the hump. And I'm saying that to say this. Drew Brees is a really good quarterback. Drew Brees got the Saints double-digit wins. But it comes a time where you probably need to go that extra mile, do that extra thing. And Drew Brees just wasn't able to deliver like that. And maybe you need some younger talent to be able to, I don't know, if a play breaks down, to scramble for about 10 or 15 yards, to be able to, be able to throw the ball on the run. You know what I'm saying? There's little things that may have been missing. There's a couple plays that could have went the Saints' way if Drew Brees decided to run one day, or maybe he decided to roll out and, throw the ball down the field. I don't know. So that could be the deciding factor of getting the Saints over the hump. And don't miss me with that stuff about, you got to be lights out elite. Because somebody please tell me this. Was Rex Grossman an elite quarterback when they went to the Super Bowl with the Chicago Bears? No, he was not. Somebody tell me if Jared Goff was an elite lights out quarterback when he went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. No, he was not. Because if he was, then he wouldn't be playing for Detroit right now as we speak. Was Jimmy Garoppolo a lights out quarterback? No, he was not. But the 49ers still found a way to go to the Super Bowl. So for all my people out here that, once again, allowing people to say quarterback is important, but you also need a defense and a running game. And you also got to be able to make plays when it matters, right? So at the end of the day, y'all, you cannot tell me that Jimmy Garoppolo can make it to a Super Bowl and the Saints can't do it with Jameis Winston. You can't tell me that Jared Goff can make his way to the Super Bowl, but the New Orleans Saints can't. But Jameis Winston can't. Nah, bro. Nah. Heck nah. Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. Don't believe it. I don't believe it. Alpha Sports says, I think not enough people know much about the game, and especially Sean Payton. He does not do what other coaches do. Not having visual access to the team is what have them worried. Look, I just feel like Sean Payton, what makes him better than all the rest, what makes him different from the rest is, he has an ego, but there are moments where he can put his ego in check when it comes to understanding that, man, this thing ain't working. This ain't working for me. Like, we got to figure out something. We had Jim Trotter on the show a couple weeks ago, and he talked about how the Saints, I think he said they were playing, I know they were playing a Cowboy. I think he said Seattle, but if it was the Superdome, I assume he was talking about the Cowboys game. He is saying that he was in the Superdome and the Saints just beat the Cowboys, and he seen Sean Payton offer to the side, like kind of like ho hum, and he went over to him and he asked him a question. And he said, what's wrong? I mean, you just won the game. He said, I didn't put Teddy in a position to succeed. At this time, this was Teddy actually starting. Drew Brees was hurt. He said, I didn't put Teddy in the right position. He said, I got to change some things around to make it a more of a Teddy-friendly type offense. And that's when you start to see Teddy Bridgewater doing some things that he does best, and they start to, get on that roll and start to see him opening up the playbook. That is one thing that Sean Payton does better than some of these other coaches. He's willing to say, man, this is not working. I'm going to find something that works. That is the reason why you look at guys like, Devery Henderson, Robert Meacham, Deontay Harris most recently, guys that can stretch the field. He puts them in a position to work towards their strengths. And, he doesn't really ask these guys to do something that makes them feel uncomfortable. That's what makes him better than the rest. Because you got coaches, man, they already believe that their system works. They feel like, what they're trying to call works. They feel like whatever they feel, is going to make the team win. Look, quarterback, do what I say, go out there and play, yada, yada, yada. If it don't work, then it's your fault, not mine. Sean Payton doesn't work like that. And I think that's one of the reasons why he's one of the best in the league and why guys respect him, of course. I didn't like this draft class the first couple of days, but I am starting to love it now. Pete Warner is exciting me and a hard hitter. Yeah, I mean, look, we don't know, John, until we actually see these guys hit the field, okay? We can't, we wanted other guys, right? We felt like they needed to go corner. Me. I'm not going to say y'all. I'm going to say me. I'm going to put the blame on me because if you watch that draft show, that I was a little bit frustrated that they went with Peyton Turner instead of getting a cornerback. But at the end of the day, what gives me a level of calm is the fact that I know that the Saints have been doing really well when it comes to draft picks over the last couple of years. So they know the team better than me. They know what they need better than me. So why argue with that? Now, if it doesn't pan out, then I can say, I don't think it's going in the right direction. We'll see. Dalton says, and to be honest, we won't see a defense do good. Just need to stop getting penalty flags. I agree. But who knows, man? Chris Richard is a really good secondary coach. We've seen what he did with the Cowboys. We've seen what he did with the Seahawks. So hopefully he'll be able to help these guys with better technique so they won't garner so many flags. Pammy says, I honestly think people are comparing our situation to New England. Yeah, absolutely. But the difference is, to me, New England, they lost about 8 starters, right? Guys sat out due to COVID. You also had Bill Belichick, in my opinion. I mean, he'll never say it, but I just feel like he kind of phoned it in. I don't think he did everything he could to try to put the best pieces in place because maybe he just thought, okay, let's try to see if we can actually be formidable, but at the same time, maybe get better draft position. I mean, they got the quarterback. They feel like it's going to be their future in Mac Jones. So he really didn't do everything he could to try to make sure his team was formidable this season. He didn't. Not like how he did this year. Now he opened up the checkbook. He getting everybody out there. I think if I'm not mistaken, he got Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, and get all kind of guys up in that thing, man. He opened up that checkbook this year. He didn't do that last year. So I think it's different. Sean Payton don't care who it is. He don't care who his quarterback is. He don't care what his situation is. He wants to win. And I can respect that. I can respect that, folks. Alex Smith was great, but he played with half a foot little egg. Ramsey, I wasn't referring to like the catastrophic accident, the tragedy, that happened in Washington. I'm referring before that even happened, when he was out there in Kansas City. That's what I'm referring to. I just felt like he was a good, but not great. And you need to be great in the playoffs because everybody gains step up. And if you're right here and you have no extra gear, like where can you go? Where can you go? And we have to thank that bounty scandal hurt us for a couple of years. Yeah, it did. It did. Look, you can't be drafted in the first round and expect for you to be able to do something with your team. And, look, Brian, I'm not going to just completely blame the bounty scandal. I'm not, folks. I am not going to completely blame the bounty scandal because I feel that was a little bit of Sean Payton's fault because Sean Payton didn't want to have that conversation with his friends. The guys that he was holding on to, the Joe Vitts and you know what I'm saying, and you know the Johnson, you know what I'm saying. I can't think of his first name, but they end up going to the Rams. Bill Johnson, you know what I'm saying, all those different guys. You know, he held on to those guys too long. And I get it, right? These are homeboys. You grew up together. You know what I'm saying? They found job opportunities. They referred you, and you know what I'm saying? You got opportunity. You referred them. Look, I get it, right? I got best friends, right? It's hard to have that conversation with your best friends, right? When your best friend is lacking, or y'all going to like a business or a partnership together or doing something, it's hard to have those conversations with your friends. And I feel like Sean Payton kind of held on a little bit too long. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like he didn't do what was in the best interest of the team. And it wasn't until like people just really started to like be like, man, maybe he you know, maybe this is it for us. Maybe this is as far as we're gonna go. That's when you started to see change. That's when you start to see the Aaron Glenn's and the Mike Nolans. You know, that's when you start seeing guys like that come in. But I just feel like the combination of the bounty scandal and just holding on to those guys that just wasn't beneficial to the team, and they basically just reached their limits. I think that's kind of set the team back as well. It would be nice if Jameis was to go out there and put up some big time stats and lead us to a Super Bowl title. Yeah. Bishop Bullwinkle says it all. Alpha, you took the words right out of my mouth. Trent Dilfer. Yeah, another one. Trent Dilfer. Good one. What up, y'all? Just know it's a lot of teams wishing they had a Sean as a coach. Yeah, absolutely. The guy you said went to the Super Bowl, lost, and was outplayed by the other quarterback, but the quarterback. So I feel like you got to be elite. But you still got there. You know what I'm saying? Like you still got there. You know, like Trent Dilfer wasn't elite, right? He won the Super Bowl. I'm trying to think about some other guys. You know, if we want to go back a little further, Doug Williams wasn't elite. He won a Super Bowl. Jeff Hostetler wasn't elite, and he won a Super Bowl. I mean, there's exceptions to the rule, man. You know, there are exceptions. Joe Flacco wasn't elite, and he won a Super Bowl. Ben Roethlisberger, at that particular time, he was young. He won a Super Bowl. So there are exceptions to the rule, man. There are exceptions to the rule. Like, you don't have to just be super elite, because if you think, okay, even look, this might be an argument. Eli Manning is not an elite quarterback. Good, above average, but he won 2 Super Bowls. Come on now. Russell Wilson at the time, you know, like he won a Super Bowl. Don't tell me, oh, Russell Wilson, like, no. Was Russell Wilson better than Peyton Manning? No, he was not. That defense was lights out. I'm not talking about Russell Wilson now. I'm talking about Russell Wilson back then. The same Russell Wilson when the Seahawks went back-to-back Super Bowls, that man threw like 4 interceptions in an NFC Championship game. So we tend to forget these things, folks. We tend to forget these things. Like, come on, man. Like, you don't have Brad Johnson. Yeah, thank you. I mean, man, you don't have to be elite, because look who you looking at, right? Look who you looking at. Who dominated like the last couple of years, like the last 20 years of going to the Super Bowl? Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger. You know what I'm saying? Those 3 guys. You know, you can throw Eli Manning up in that thing. So 4 guys over the last 20 years basically dominated the Super Bowl scenes. How many teams do they have in the National Football League? 32. So you don't have to be elite, man. You don't have to be elite. You need a running game, you need a good defense, and you need a quarterback that can get the job done. So, yeah, if you're looking at every Peyton Manning, every Tom Brady, Eli Manning in playoff situations, yeah. But those been the guys that have been dominating the Super Bowl scene over the last 20 years. So to me, I don't think that you need to be elite. I don't feel like you need to be, a Peyton Manning or Tom Brady in order to get over that. Warner might turn out to be a good player. I agree. Anthony says, even though I know we will be all right, I'm really going to miss Trey Hendrickson. Yeah, me too. But he played his way out of New Orleans. When the last time we talked about Lil Jordan Humphreys? Do you think there's a good chance he can show his true wide receiver skills this season? Well, casual is put up a shut up time, for Lil Jordan Humphreys. And look, you've been in this system for 3 years now. So we'll see. Let's see if they'll put him in a position to be able to make some plays. But he got to stand out, man. 3 years, you should know the system. You should know the offense. And, we got to see more out of you than above average blocking. I don't think Sean Payton has a chip. I think he is confident in his system and his players. He puts players in positions to be successful. I agree. Go back to what I was saying. I mean, he's not afraid to rip it up and say, man, this ain't working. That I respect about Sean. Ryan says, I still can't believe they didn't run the ball. Marshawn Lynch would have stumbled 5 yards. And then on top of that, I think he gained like 12 or 13 yards before that interception even happened, if I'm not mistaken. So that was just ridiculous. 4 guys with awesome defenses behind them. Doug Williams. Sub Jared Poor Jr. Tight lid, big dog. I appreciate that, man. Hey, and back to what Tro just said. Are you telling me that the Saints don't have a defense, a good enough defense to win a Super Bowl? I believe that. Like, I really believe that. Look, man, we look at the divisional round of the playoffs. Like, we look at that playoff game, but think about this, man. The average field position of the Bucs was at the 41-yard line. So that just means that they need to gain about 15 or 20 yards, and that's easy 3 points. So all those turnovers were putting the Saints behind the 8 ball. And that'd be hard for any defense, for offense to be starting in that type of field position. To me, do I feel like the Saints had a good enough team to win a Super Bowl with that defense over the last couple of years? Yes, absolutely. I definitely do. I know they start off a little rough, but like down the stretch, man, that's when they start emerging. They start becoming top 10, top 5 defenses in certain statistical categories. So I do feel like they had a defense. I do feel like they had a defense to win. Even Urban Meyer is trying to copy what we do in New Orleans with his offense with Tebow. Enough said. Warner is a monster. You went to war with Chase Young, has a stepper. Yeah, I mean, that dude is good, man. And plus, he's a leader. And that's what the Saints look for. They look for good, smart guys that are leaders. Paulson and Debo is going to do good this year. I believe in this guy. I like his confidence. I like the way he plays the ball. I like his instincts. I like his eye discipline. He's going to be good. We really should make a Super Bowl, but we were robbed. I mean, that's the understatement of the decade right there. But what can you do? I believe we got the defense for sure. When we won, we had a defense that kept giving the offense the ball. Yeah. And at that time, that's the thing, Tro. At that time, Drew Brees can capitalize on that. He still had that arm strength. He had that ability to get the ball down the field. They was able to have those explosive plays. I just feel like they were able to get Drew Brees the ball, but they weren't able to get the ball where it needed to be. It was always a field goal. Like, come on, man. Like that field position that Deontay Harris gave the Saints on those first 2 opening drives in the first quarter, there's no way in the world the score should have been like 14-0 at that time. Not instead of like 6-0. When you start like giving up, instead like when you get great field position like that, then all of a sudden like you just getting field goals, like you still giving that defense hope. You still giving that team hope. So 14 points instead of 6 points, like that kind of stuff right there, man, like that can change the trajectory of the game. The defense played damn good in the playoffs. Yeah, I agree. Black and Gold Breakdown Podcast. What's going on, Aaron? Brian says, I'm glad Alex Hazeloni is gone. Again, says, preach my boy, we underachieving by not getting a chip over these last 4 years. Yeah, I mean, you can say that they They underachieve. You know what I'm saying? You can say they underachieve, but I mean, there's room for growth. There's room for growth. And two of those, I say one. That 2017 Minneapolis Miracle, that was just my goodness. But that the NFC Championship game, I can say at least one. I don't know, if they would have beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know. Philadelphia was pretty doggone good that season, and it was pretty deep. Our defense was ranked 12th in the league when we won the Super Bowl. Debo is legit. Honestly, Father Time caught up with Brees, but Sean Payton is loyal. Now he's about to open up the playbook with a new quarterback. I think you're gonna see. A lot of good, a lot of trick plays, a lot of plays that are gonna, involve like explosive down the field throws. I think you're gonna see that. They were dominating the Bucks. The Saints' offense was too sluggish. Started turning the ball over. Drew played one of the worst games of his career. Yeah, I don't think I've seen a game Drew Brees played that bad since I think that Thursday night game when he threw 5 interceptions to the Falcons. I got to go back to that. That was, I don't know what was going on with Drew. Well, I know what's going on with him, but that's another story for another day. The Saints will be a lot better than we think. Why? Because this year the run game will change the whole game. I hope so. But we all know that Sean Payton like to throw that thing. He like to throw that rock, man. Johnny says, that's what I was telling people. Deontay Harris got us in the red zone. They missed Taysom Hill. Yep. Taysom Hill was an X factor in that. I feel like it would have been at least 10-0 instead of 6-0. They would have at least gotten that end zone at least once out of those two. It's June 1st. We should be getting news. It'll probably be coming up soon. We would have ran Philadelphia out the building. I don't believe that. I don't believe that, man. They were a good football team. I think now would they have blown us out like they did Minnesota? No, I don't believe that. But to say that I just absolutely believe that they would have beat Philadelphia, nah, I don't believe that. It would have been a tough game. Could have went anyway, but for me to say, oh man, they would have went to this, I can't say that. What up, TJ? Just waking up from working that graveyard shift. That's why I'm late, but I'm here. Damien, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I hope Rashard can help Crawley, but 2017 was a minute ago, and Crawley hasn't been it. Still think a vet cornerback is needed. Well, we haven't seen much of Ken Crawley since 2017. We seen him in 2018, and then all of a sudden, he ain't gonna never get no better than what we seen in 2018 because for some apparent reason, and I'm not talking about you, Rose City, but for some apparent reason, if a guy is, known for, not tackling well, he's going to forever not be a good tackler. If a guy is known for having bad technique, he's going to forever be known as a guy that can't change his technique, or can't grow, can't develop. And, I just think that we need to go into situations year by year, give guys the benefit of the doubt of growing and developing as players. Maybe the position that they were in wasn't beneficial to them. We got to be able to give guys opportunities. And, I seen Ken Crawley play last season. I mean, he got, he was out there playing. I want to say he played most of the second half against the Carolina Panthers. Now, you can say, oh, man, the Panthers, they were on Cancun on 3. But he still was out there, man. He had an interception and, he had a couple of pass deflections. So take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying that Ken Crawley can't, is going to start or anything like that. But, I mean, I feel like guys can change the way that we think about them. I have to. I mean, you have to. Because people are skeptical about both of the quarterbacks that's most likely going to be the starter of the New Orleans Saints. So we have to believe that these guys can change the narrative. We got to believe that Jameis can play better than he did in Tampa his last season. We got to believe that Taysom can emerge and become better as a quarterback. We got to. So I can't say on one hand that I got to have confidence in that regard and just completely write off a guy like Ken Crawley on the other hand. I just can't. I mean, I just can't do it. Like, I feel like guys can get better. I feel like changing the situation that they're in can make them look better. I mean, you look at PJ Williams on the outside is a train wreck, but on the inside, playing in the nickel or playing at the safety, he plays really good. So I'm not going to completely write him off. I'm not going to completely say that. I mean, he's just a hopeless case. And I don't think is he going to start? No. I mean, what at best he might end up being on special teams. I mean, you lose Justin Hardy. You got a guy that's familiar with special teams like Ken Crawley. I mean, I don't look at Ken Crawley as like he about to come in and be on the other side of Marshawn Lattimore. I don't believe that. So I'm not going to look at, Ken Crawley like he's going to be the guy to change the way I think about Saints football, or he's just going to change the dynamic of the Saints defense. I don't look at Ken Crawley like that. I like him. You know what I'm saying? I hope that he develops as a player, but I'll be lying to you if I say that, he's going to be a difference maker in that regard. I don't even think the Saints coaching staff are looking at him like that. If he comes out there and he just shocks the world, then they'll be like, whoa, man, Crawley looks really good. But I don't think they're going into the season like, okay, Marshawn, Crawley, nah. I guess change narrative with PJ playing boundary corner. Look, I just think that him on the inside, I think that is that's just a recipe for disaster. Him playing on the outside. I mean, him playing on the outside is just, that's a train wreck. Him on the inside, because he's an above average tackler. He's probably one of the best tacklers in the secondary. So having him as a safety or in a nickel, it is beneficial to him. Anthony says, where can I get a SOTS hat? I'm going to have some hats coming out real soon, man. Be on the lookout for it. They're definitely going to be coming before the start of the season. Damian says, hey, TJ, which position is more important to add more depth, wide receiver, cornerback, or linebacker? I think all. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you can never have too many linebackers or corners, because corners and linebackers are positions that you're more than likely to see some injuries. So the better depth that you have at the linebacker position, the better. Cornerback as well. Wide receivers, I think the Saints will be fine. I just think that week one an embarrassment of riches when it comes to that. But I need to see what some of these young guys have. We might be complaining and falling all over the place for guys that we probably have to get the job done. So we got to be careful. Kaz, thank you very much for being a supporter. Says, if Crawley even makes the roster, just a camp body signing to compete. Look, I think he's going to make the roster because he played on special teams. And even when he wasn't starting, he was playing on special teams. And when you lose a special teams ace like Justin Hardy, you want to replace him with somebody that understands and has that chemistry with the rest of the special teams players. So that's the way I look at it. TJ, what are you hearing out of NOLA in regards to players progressing and position battles? Man, it's been pretty much quiet right now, man. Nobody really been going out here doing any interviews. Nobody has really been covering the team as much, as for the exception of some of the things that, have been coming out, just kind of light stuff. Probably you'll start like hearing different information come out like around close to training camp time, and definitely, late June, you'll be able to hear a little bit more stories, and I have that information for you. And also, if I don't have the information, y'all know I'll bring individuals that are close to the team on the show where they can talk to you all and give you all more information. Because I don't even try to make myself to be an insider, Keen Arthur. I'm not an insider. I'm not one of those inside guys that, I feel like you're playing a very, very tough game if you want to consider yourself an insider, because one bad report, then somebody be like, man, I thought you lose your credibility. So that's why I like to get those guys that's close to the team and talk to guys and get information to come on the show. I'm just a guy, if I hear something, I'll bring it to you all. But besides that, I don't even try to make myself no insider. I don't even want to play that game. TJ, can you get Larry Holder on the show? I mean, I can ask him, and he's been on here before. I've had Larry Holder on the show before, so maybe it'll be nice enough to come back again. But that was like earlier, that was like August of last year. So I can see. I don't see no reason why I couldn't get Mr. Holder to be on the show. To me, TJ, Sean has a lot to prove because that old Super Bowl is looking like a flash in the pan based on the way the last 10 years have went. I don't want to say it was a flash in the pan to me, King Arthur. I just feel like when you win something like that, the fan base just becomes more and more. I won't say. I guess I can say more and more spoiled. And when you get prosperity, you want it back. When you're on top, you just want that feeling over and over again. And the bar is so high because you actually won that. So you know it's attainable. If they didn't never win a Super Bowl and they were just winning games, then we'll probably be upset more, but the bar has never been set that high. So we go into every season comparing ourselves to that moment that we felt right there. So he's the most successful head coach the Saints have ever had, but we are a fan base that want that same feeling. And it makes us upset, especially when we see our rival in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or one of our rivals, actually hoist that Lombardi trophy when we've had way more successful seasons than they've had. And all of a sudden they get one quarterback and he just helps them put everything together. It does frustrate you, but I don't look at Sean Payton like, oh, if he don't get this done this season, he gonna get fired or he's out of here. But every season you want to go up in there saying that you're gonna win. TJ, what's the latest on Latavius Murray? He's still with the team, and most likely he's still going to be with the team. That's just the way I feel. Peace and love, who that family? What's going on, who that king? Damian says a lot of people underestimate punters, but Morstead will be missed. Don't know much about the new guy, and hopefully Lutz brings his A game. Well, I'll tell you this, man. This new guy, he has, Gilligan. I don't see Sean getting rid of Thomas Morstead if he didn't believe in this guy, right? We looked at Garrett Hartley, who kicked the Saints into the Super Bowl, kept the Saints in the Super Bowl. All of a sudden, Will Lutz come through the spot, and he had a little bit of downward spiral towards the end of the season, but for the most part, Will Lutz don't make you miss Garrett Hartley that much, does he? Winkle says the Saints still got playmakers, and Sean Payton already have proved they can win without Brees. I agree with that. And finally, we'll just end it with Randall. Randall says, with tight ends coach gone and new players in that position, do you think Saints will improve without Cook and Hill? Look, Dan Campbell was a really good assistant coach and tight ends coach. I'm not going to take that away from him, but that's what happens when you generate success. When you see these guys out here performing well, organizations start to look at what's the recipe. Like, why is your organization playing so well? So, yes, he is going to be missed, but I have confidence in Sean Payton that he's going to replace them with quality guys that can get the best out of these guys. So, I'm not mad at that. Happy for Dan Campbell. Happy for the fact that he's getting an opportunity to coach out there in Detroit. Happy for Aaron Glenn. But I'm confident that the Saints are going to be pretty good at the tight end position. I got confidence in Nick Vernett, and I also have confidence in Adam Troutman and all the other tight ends that are coming along. I'll finish it with King Arthur. King Arthur says, TJ, I'm sorry I missed the other show about Zach Bourne. Do you think he takes a step forward? Well, can't be no worse than what he did last season. I hate to say it, but we didn't really see that much of him. So anything that we see more of would be some progress, right? So I think that he can do it, man. I think where the Saints went wrong was they tried to turn him into a stand-up linebacker, and that's not where his bread was buttered. Not at Wisconsin. He put his hand on the ground, he rushed the quarterback. So if the Saints can try to, get him a guy, turn him into like a little bit of a pass rush, more of one of those linebackers, that rushed like a Von Miller. Name was slipping me, like somebody like Von Miller or something. I ain't saying he's gonna be on the level of a Von Miller, but a guy that can rush the quarterback, like a Shaq Barrett. Shaq Barrett is a linebacker, but he can rush the quarterback. If they can get him if they can get him to be something like that, then I think he'll be fine. I think every Saints fan would be okay if Zach Barnes was sacking a quarterback instead of tackling. If he was doing that really well, if he was sacking quarterbacks and he wasn't really tackling, all over the place, I think people will be able to, be okay with that. But I want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. State of the Saints podcast brought to you by Manscaped.com. Use the promo code State of Saints. That's all one word, State of Saints, and you will save 20% off of your purchase. Okay, go to Manscaped.com for all of your male grooming needs. The Lawnmower 4.0 is available right now. No matter if you spend $100 or $10, use that promo code, all lowercase letters, State of Saints, all one word, and you'll save 20% off. Also, previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM. And also check out Facebook.com, search The State of the Saints podcast, and go ahead and hit that thumbs up on your way out. Let everybody know you enjoyed the podcast. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I would really appreciate that as well. Thank you all so much. This has been the State of the Saints podcast, and all I got to say